Good morning, I'm Pete Purko, Summer House Realty with the Purko team. I'm joined with Macy Risner, Lauren Pinter.
Hello.
Today is Fri-YAY Facts. Fri-YAY Facts. Introduction on a Friday, you start. Tell us how this week was, any new information that you seem like may want to share with the crowd?
We have a new listing for the team. Go check it out on our Facebook. That's some exciting news that happened this week. Custom built home. It is gorgeous, so definitely go check that out. That's probably one of our big things that happened this week.
That's right.
If you watched our video last week, you figured out how to get started in the home buying process, found out all about loans from Carrie King with Guild Mortgage. So if you haven't watched that, go check that one out. That's from last week.
Very informational, very educational. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot, and I do it every day.
Something else we have coming up is a giveaway. Ooh. So we've got some fun stuff. We've got our big ticket item, some AirPods to give away.
AirPods. How do you win these awesome AirPods? I don't even own AirPods. Who doesn't want AirPods?
I don't know. So keep an eye out on Instagram and Facebook. There'll be instructions on how to enter our giveaway. So make sure you enter that. You can win AirPods, some of our Purko team merchandise, coffee mug, and a hat.
You gotta keep the swag up.
So this week on Fri-YAY Facts, we have a guest coming in. His name is Jeff Young, and he is a home inspector. He's gonna tell us all about what a home inspection is, what he checks for in a home inspection. That's kind of your next step in the home buying process. So we will leave it to Pete and Jeff.
There you go. All right, good morning, Fri-YAY Facts, happy Friday. I am here with the one and only Mr. Jeff Young with Premier Home Inspections. That's right. So he is gonna give us an introduction. He's gonna tell us about his business, how long he's been in business, what he does, some cool stories, and answer lots of questions. So the platform's yours, my friend.
All right. So yeah, good morning. Like Pete said, I'm Jeff Young with Premier Home Inspections. I've been inspecting homes for a little over 6 years now. In the CSRA, I've been inspecting for about 2 years. Recently, I moved here from Macon, Georgia, where I inspected with a franchise company known as Pillar to Post. So it brought me here, and
All right, so Premier Home Inspections right here. Contact information, phone number, email, what is that?
Yeah, 706-836-4488. You can reach me by email at Jeff, Jeff, at premiercsra.com.
There you go. And you don't have to be a realtor to call him. You can be a homeowner, or you can be anybody. You do post and pre-inspections, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. We inspect for home buyers, home sellers, investors, homeowners even, so anybody you can think of.
Anyway, awesome. All right, so we're gonna jump right into this. How do I pick a home inspector? Obviously, the way I pick a home inspector is based on past relationships. Obviously, there's a lot of them, but I'm all about quality over quantity. So if I hire somebody and they do a good job, then I continue to use them. We started using Jeff a few months ago, and he's been phenomenal. So obviously, he goes on our vendor list, and he's done a few inspections for us, and all of them have been thorough. And he provides detailed reports, pictures, and it makes it easy for the other parties involved, like the other realtors, because all they do is open the email, click, and all the information's there. So it doesn't get any easier for that. You don't have to be a technology guru to kind of go through that and evaluate it. So that's how I pick my home inspector. Very easy process. Now, how long does a normal inspection take? Kind of give us like the tier level. I know every home's different sizes, crawl space, slab, all that kind of good stuff, but like, what's the standard time frame?
Sure, I would say standard about 2 hours. Typically, I always say 2 to 3 hours. That's going to give you enough time to get in there, do a very thorough inspection, and if you need extra time, you've got extra time as well. Sometimes it can take a little less, sometimes a little more, but you want to have that extra time in case there's something going on in the house that requires a little bit more detective work.
Sweet. All right. Everybody's always worried about the money. I know that's the most important thing. So let's talk money. Let's talk pricing. How much do your services cost, and what do they include?
Sure. So just like the typical home inspection is going to run you based on square footage and the foundation type. So when we say foundation type, we mean crawl space, or is it on a slab? Prices are going to run anywhere from $200 and on up. Typically, the average home inspection is around $300.
$300. And they pay for that up front, after?
Yeah, typically they'll pay for it before the home inspection. Some people don't feel comfortable. Some buyers like to pay at the time of, and that's fine as well.
Okay. And they can do that by credit card or anything like that? Okay.
Yep, any way you can think of.
Okay.
Except Bitcoin. We don't take Bitcoin.
As long as it doesn't bounce, you're good.
That's right. There you go. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit. Obviously, you said in the beginning you've been doing it 6 years. What is your education, and how did you even get into home inspections? And what is your experience in this field?
Yeah, so I grew up with, for those of you who know Bob Vila, that kind of guy, I grew up with a dad who was a Bob Vila guy. He did a lot of construction work as well, and so from the time I was able to hold a hammer, I was doing stuff with him. I went to college. I did not get a construction degree in college. I went into communications, but on the side I did general contracting work with someone else. So that kind of built me further into it. After college, I got into the fire department.
Sweet.
Learned a lot of different aspects of home from that standpoint, and that's when I got into the home inspection business.
Very nice.
Bought my first home, and I said, well, this is a pretty nice gig. I like this. Let's keep doing it.
Except for when you have to crawl in the attics and crawl under the houses.
Yeah, that's not fun. Yeah.
You put that big suit on.
Yeah, that's
respirator.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
I carry a fly swatter. It's one of my most prized pieces of inspection equipment for the crawl space.
I don't do snakes or wasps or all that kind of stuff. It'd be my luck I'd get stuck under the house or in a little tall space and probably have a panic attack. All right, so the biggest things when you're inspecting homes, tell us about what some of the key things are. I know you have cosmetic deficiencies and you have major deficiencies. Tell us kind of what the key points are you look for. Do you get on the roof? We deal with a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of military buyers, and obviously they're not as educated in that field. So what is the biggest thing when you're looking at houses, like I said, major, cosmetic, or what is a determinant that kind of says, hey, you might want to kind of slow down on this house or reevaluate some of these conditions?
Yeah, if you look at a house from a top-down approach, so the roof is kind of like the hat, then you go down from there. You've got the body, and then the foundation is kind of like your feet, if you want to look at it from that standpoint. And so even from the top, we're looking at what I call the big ticket items, the things that are going to cost you the most money. So what does that roof look like? The roof surface and the roof structure. So what that roof is made of, those rafters and things. Other big ticket items that we're going to look at are like your HVAC system. What's the age of it? Is it cooling and heating properly? How's the ductwork look? Plumbing. It's very common to see some small leak below a sink or something like that. We're looking for the major items that could come up within your drainage system or something of that nature. And foundation, obviously, are there any major structural issues? Now, every home has some form of settlement cracking. At some point in time when they build them, they are going to settle. So we're not looking for the small things here and there. It's really those big, major cracks that's going to cause us to think, all right, well, what's going on here? And as far as cosmetic, you're going to see a lot of scuffs on walls. People live in these homes, and so you're going to see that. It's a byproduct of it. You may see a leaky sink or a leaky faucet at some point, but those are all very minor. You really want to keep your mindset on what's going to cost me the most money to fix, and what's going to cause the most trouble and damage long term.
Major components.
Yep.
Roof, heating and air, plumbing, electrical.
Yep.
Like the panel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, the panel as well.
Okay. Now, I get a lot of inspectors, and obviously I get a lot of clients ask me, they'll say, what about radon or mold? Do you provide those services if they do decide they want a radon test or a mold test? I know those are extra services, so.
Yes, we provide those as well. Radon in this area, if you go on the EPA website, it's not as high in this area, but we do provide that testing as well. Typically we can get a return on to 48 hours. And we do provide mold testing as well. With that, it's a 24-hour return. So, and we do air quality testing as well.
Very nice. So if somebody hires you, obviously we're the realtors. So that's our profession. That's kind of the box we like to stay in. We don't like to go out of that box because obviously we're not the professionals when it comes to evaluating the house, the condition, and the report. So you perform the inspection. We get the report. We discuss with the clients yourself. They say they want A, B, C, D repaired or addressed by the sellers. So obviously we create a document called the Amendment to Address Concerns on the Georgia Association of Realtors legal document. The consumer, the buyer signs it, we send it to the seller. They are either gonna agree to all, they're gonna counter only certain items, or decline all. It just depends. It's kind of like a second stage of the negotiation process. But if they agree to accept all, then from that point they sign, we have a ratified document. We wait a couple weeks, then they address all the items. Then from that point, we go back out with the buyer, but we didn't inspect, we didn't look at everything. So I always recommend, hey, let's get the inspector back out to check it. How does that incorporate into your average of $300? Is that an extra charge? Is that included? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we charge a one-time extra fee of $100. It's our trip fee. And so we're going to go through that repair addendum, and every item that was supposed to be repaired, we're going to go back, we're going to make sure it was repaired, but not just repaired, but repaired right. Not a little Band-Aid on a fix. We want to make sure it was done right.
A lot of do-it-yourselfers these days.
Exactly.
There's a lot of TV shows that think everybody is the next flip or flop.
Yeah, there you go.
So you see a lot of stuff. I'm sure I've seen a lot of neat stuff. Duct tape is is only so good in certain situations.
Right, that's right.
So let's talk about and there are stories, and there's, you know, obviously you only can do what you can do. You're a human at the end of the day.
That's right.
So you're gonna miss some things, or the buyer's gonna move into the house and there might be something you overlooked, and then they're calling me and, oh, this thing came up and da-da-da, which is minimal. I don't get too many of those calls, but I have received some. I've heard some horror stories from other realtors. So now the buyer has incorporated a large expense because something was missed. Do you offer any kind of insurances or warranties? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we do have E&O, errors and omissions, and general liability insurance up to $500,000. What I tell people is the number that I've given you at the beginning of this cast is my primary number. If you have any issues, if you have any concerns, you give me a call. You send me an email and we'll take care of you. No questions asked. I'll come out and I'll review what's going on, and then we'll take care of you.
Perfect. Well, you've answered all my questions. We really appreciate your partnership and everything you do for us. You're always on time and do exactly what you say you're going to do, and your company's top notch. Do you want to close us with anything, or anything you want to tell us especially?
Just enjoy working with the CSRA, and if you need a home inspection, give me a call. Happy to serve you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Likewise.
Thanks for joining us. Again, I am Pete Purko, team leader of the Purko team. Hopefully you enjoyed the facts that were presented. It is Friday, so have a great weekend. If you see that house you want to look at, or you have any questions about any home that's for sale in the CSRA, we are licensed in Georgia, South Carolina, and Florida. Please call me, or call Macy, or call Lauren. I really appreciate you watching, joining us, and like I said, if you want to close us with anything.
Don't forget to enter our giveaway. Yeah, we are giving away some AirPods this week, so keep an eye out for that on Instagram and Facebook. And we appreciate you watching our videos.